Once a struggling writer, Sophia was tired of being rejected by publishers and living in poverty. She was desperate for a breakthrough, so one night she summoned the devil to make a deal. The devil appeared before her, offering to make her the most successful writer in the world, but with a price. Sophia, blinded by her ambition, agreed to the terms without hesitation. As soon as she signed the contract with her blood, she felt a cold shiver down her spine. Her hands shook as the devil laughed, disappearing into the darkness. Sophia tried to forget the deal, but strange things started happening. Her writing came effortlessly, but it was as if someone else was guiding her hand. She couldn't control the darkness that seeped into her stories, and it frightened her. Sophia's success skyrocketed, but it came at a cost. She became a recluse, consumed by the fear that the devil was coming for her soul. One day, as she was leaving a bookstore signing, she saw a figure waiting for her in the shadows. It was the devil, and he had come to collect his prize. Sophia ran, but it was too late. She was trapped in a dark alley, and the devil was closing in on her. Suddenly, she heard a voice calling her name. It was her editor, who had been worried about her recent behavior. The devil vanished, and Sophia realized that her editor had saved her. Years later, Sophia had given up writing, haunted by her experience with the devil. One day, she received a letter from her editor, who had discovered an old manuscript of hers. It was a story of a struggling writer who made a deal with the devil and paid the price. Sophia realized that the editor had been the devil all along, and the contract had never been fulfilled. She was free, but the devil had taken her talent and her soul. John had always been fascinated by the occult, so when he stumbled upon an old book of rituals at a garage sale, he couldn't resist buying it. He spent weeks studying the ancient texts, trying to decipher the strange symbols and incantations. One night, John decided to try one of the rituals himself. He drew the circle on the floor, lit the candles, and began chanting the words he had memorized. Suddenly, the room grew cold, and he heard a faint whispering in his ear. But he didn't see anything out of the ordinary, so he assumed it was just his imagination playing tricks on him. The next morning, John woke up feeling strange. He felt a burning sensation all over his body, and when he looked in the mirror, he saw strange markings on his skin. He tried to wash them off, but they wouldn't budge. As the days went on, John began experiencing terrifying hallucinations. He saw demons lurking in the shadows, heard voices whispering in his ear, and felt an overwhelming sense of dread. He knew something was wrong, but he didn't know how to stop it. Desperate for answers, John sought out the help of a psychic medium. She told him that he had opened a portal to the spirit world and that a demon had taken possession of his body. The only way to banish it was to perform a powerful exorcism ritual. John gathered all the materials he needed and began the ritual. As he chanted the words, the room grew colder and the candles flickered. Suddenly, the demon spoke through him, promising to leave his body if he made a deal. John was desperate to be free of the possession, so he agreed. The next morning, John woke up feeling normal again. The markings on his body were gone, and he no longer experienced any hallucinations. But he couldn't shake the feeling that he had made a terrible mistake. He didn't know what the demon had asked of him, but he knew it couldn't be good, and he was afraid that one day it would come back to haunt him.